Yeah, what can you really say about Super Mario Odyssey that hasn't been said like 80 million times in the last 7 years? I'm just curious, does anybody have any ideas? Because that would be really helpful for this video. So despite the fact that I am a Zelda influencer, can I use the term influencer? Like, despite me paying $14 a month for a blue checkmark on Instagram and having 2,000 followers, like, is that enough? Is that enough? I don't know. But anyways, despite me really loving Zelda, and the games are good too. But despite that, I was always a really, really big Mario fan growing up when I was a kid. Like, that was my main thing, and I'm almost a little ashamed to admit that while I did play Zelda games, I played Wind Waker and Skyward. No, I didn't play Skyward Sword. I played Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. I had played Skyward Sword, but I was much older when I played that. But despite that, I was always more into Mario. That was my big thing. Mario, I don't know what it is, but there's just something really cool about a plumber jumping around and like fighting Koopas and just all that fun stuff. Mario is great. And, for a long time, Mario games were really good. But then we hit the era of when I became a teenager. And we got games like New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii U, and New Super Luigi for the Wii U, and Mario Maker, and 3D World. And while all of those games are great and amazing, and I love them today, at the time, these games were just so exhausting because they were pretty much the exact same style of 2D Mario. One was a little bit different, 3D World, and obviously Mario Maker is kind of different too, but they just kind of felt the same. All of this felt like stuff we had before. So in many ways, I became less of a Mario fan when I was a teenager because it just felt so stale. So, flash forward to 2018, Odyssey came out in 2017, but I didn't start playing it until 2018. I played Mario Odyssey, and this game made me fall in love with Mario again. Like, I mean this. It reignited how I felt about a franchise that, honestly, I didn't even like anymore. Like, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I love Mario, but I had gotten bored with Mario. I didn't think I'd ever have a Mario game that would excite me in the way that Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 and Super Mario 64 did when I was a kid. Like, I just did not think I could get that again. And then I played Odyssey for the first time, and it was so insane because, like, the controls for Odyssey, like, I really think that's something that needs to be talked about more. Like, the way Mario moves, you feel like how you think Mario would move. Like, I love Mario Sunshine, but that game handles Mario really bad. Like, he does not move as well as he should. I mean, Mario is known for jumping, and in Odyssey, you can jump. You can use Cappy to do some pretty cool jumps, but you can also, like, run back and forth. You can jump forward. Like, you can do a lot of the stuff that you do in most Mario games, but the controls feel so much tighter and better, and it really feels like they defined how Mario should move. And speaking of Cappy, Cappy is like the funnest, like, gimmick they could throw into a game ever. He's basically Flood. He's basically the Luma spin attack. He's the new big moneymaker buy this game part of the thing, and he's so much fun. Like, it's fun becoming a Goomba and then making a stack of Goombas. It's fun, becoming a frog and jumping incredibly high. Or being the Bullet Bill. I absolutely love when I'm the Bullet Bill, and I'm always nervous when I'm a Bullet Bill because I feel like I'm gonna explode. I'm gonna be real, I don't know all the names of all the enemies, but I really like the little caterpillar that you can be that, like, stretches, and I also like those little octopus bubble things that you have that can fly up and also shoot. I think those things are really cool. And, that's just a handful of the captures. I mean, obviously the biggest one, spoiler alert, but you can basically get to be Bowser at the end of the game as well as Yoshi. And speaking of Yoshi, one of the coolest things about this was, in the game, once you beat it, you can actually go to the Mushroom Kingdom, which is not something you can do in essentially, I think, any 3D Mario except for Super Mario 64. And it's so cool. It's got so many homages to Super Mario 64. You can even unlock the Super Mario 64 blocky skin, so I think that's so cool. You can jump through paintings and replay some boss battles, get to some secret levels. You can go to the top of the castle, which is where you will find Yoshi. Again, spoiler alert. But the Mushroom Kingdom is so beautiful in Mario Odyssey. And, going back to this, what I really mean when I talk about Mario Odyssey is this is the game that I just didn't think was possible. Not only did this game reignite my interest in Mario, but it it was good. You know, I did not think that I would ever play another Mario game in my life that I liked more than Galaxy, or Galaxy 2, or 64, or Sunshine. I just felt like Mario had peaked, and this game was like, hey, yeah, no, Nintendo can still make amazing things. And you gotta remember too, when I played Odyssey, I was an adult, so, you know, there's a part of that too, because you feel like once you get older, that less stuff from your childhood is as special. You know, you feel like that stuff just, you can't really, I guess you could say, replicate the magic of it, of when you were a kid. But this game was 100% doing that for me. And I'll be honest, I've never 100% like completed like Odyssey. Like, I've never went for everything, but I have beat the game like 10 times because I really like the story, I really like the game. So a lot of times I'll play it and I'll beat it and I'll stop. I think my most recent time beating the game was back in January, and I recently just started again too. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way with this one, but again, I'm currently in the Cascade Kingdom, so, you know, pretty early on, but it's fun. And speaking of the kingdoms, they're all fun. You know, you have my voice. But yeah, the Cascade Kingdom, I like that, the dinosaurs, and again, you know, the Metro Kingdom is the absolute best one in the game. I even like the moon. You know, there's not much to do on the moon, but I like that one. I think it's kind of fun. And Bowser's Kingdom is so cool, and I like how it feels like a world, even though it's very much, you know, it's kind of like an open world with hubs. It's fun. I like it. I think another big thing is they kind of simplified it. You know, a lot of the previous games have Bowser Jr. or the Koopalings or Luigi, and while none of those characters, save for Luigi, do appear in the game, it kind of helps because you have the Brutals, you have new enemies, and you just have more of a focus on Mario, Peach, Bowser, and Cappy. You know, that's kind of the main thing of the game. And speaking of which, I absolutely love the Odyssey. I think it's a beautiful ship. I wish you'd kind of do more with the Odyssey other than just like kind of being the load point to get from area to area, but it is still pretty cool, and I like how you can decorate it and kind of customize it too. That's kind of fun. And speaking of customization, that's something you can do with Mario in this game. So, you know, I guess to kind of go back to where I was at the start of the video, basically why I want to make this video is just to really talk about why I love this game. And, you know, it was really one of the biggest things about the Switch. You know, even though it wasn't there on launch day like Breath of the Wild was, I think for many people, it was one of the biggest things about wanting to get a Switch. Definitely was for me. And it definitely, again, you know, it really proved like, hey, they can still do it. They can make some amazing things. And even to this day, you know, I'm excited because we have Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I was a little disappointed when I saw Bonanza because it's like, man, I was hoping they would do something, a new 3D Mario. But at the same time, you know, it looks like Bonanza is actually being made by the people who made Odyssey. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but it definitely looks like it's using parts from the Odyssey, kind of like design and everything. So I'm excited about that. But I just really wanted to look back on, you know, the game that really made me love Mario again. And yeah, like I said, you know, Odyssey is a great game, and it's just, you know, what can you say about this game that has not already been said? But this is why I love Odyssey. It just really resonates with me because of what it did for Mario. And ultimately, I think, you know, with the Mushroom Kingdom, with the way Mario moves, the story on Mario, Bowser, and Peach, I think for me, it really is the definitive Mario game. And I don't want to say they can't do anything better or that it's like my, you know, gonna always be my favorite, because obviously the point of this game is that it proved me wrong when I have thought that in the past. But I really do think that for me, it will be the definitive take on Mario, at least 3D Mario. So I think that's pretty cool. This is a new series I'm starting where I basically just talk about stuff and why I love them. It's not really going to be like in-depth reviews where I try to break down everything. It's just really me talking about what I like, you know, and why I like that particular thing. And I might do a sub-series where I talk about stuff I don't like. But yeah, let me know. And thanks for watching. Please rate, like, and subscribe.